live in front of an internet audience. Can't say that anymore, which is sad, kind of. It's just change. That's okay. Change is all right. Just going to have to figure out something else to say there. It's going to be empty not having something to say. I guess I could just say the good old age old, I'm Clifford today and you're not. So, yeah. Welcome to the I'm Clifford Today show where I'm Clifford today and you're not. It's going to be a little bit of a different vibe this episode, so bear with me, Today we are joined by Duke by Genesis. I also, so first a little bit about Duke. It's probably my favorite Genesis album, and what I love about it is that it was like that perfect in between Genesis prog rock era and their pop rock era. It's like that perfect in between where it's still like a really good prog rock album, but also a really good pop album. So I think it's pretty great, and it's got some of their best stuff on there. So, one thing you'll probably notice is that it's darker, so it is a little later in the day. This is I don't know if this is going to be every episode, because I'm only recording now because it was what was going to work out for me. So, but I'm going to do my best to record episodes earlier in the day if I can. So just for today, we're just a little later in the day, and that's all right. But boy, man, so it's been a crazy couple of weeks for me. I guess first let's just get the housekeeping out of the way, because there's not a lot. But we got Matthew McRae, who commented on the highlights channel on the My Humble Opinion segment. Matthew McRae, who's been a longtime supporter of the show, of the channel, says, "I'm so stoked for more Josh Garrels." Me too, man. He's got a new album coming out, and I'm really loving Watchmen. So I'm really excited to hear more from him. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks for me. I'm still on the mend. So I was horribly sick starting not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before. I started feeling really terrible. I started feeling really achy, really feverish, and I eventually got a fever. And I was kind of expecting the fever to just kind of go away with some rest and everything. And it just wasn't. And it got worse. I think the highest that I got was 103.8. And that's pretty bad. It was at that point that we realized that I needed to go to the hospital. So we did. I went to prompt care, and they discovered that, with some x-rays, that I had pneumonia. Yeah, so I've been dealing with pneumonia since then. And even before then, it was really bad. It got really scary at one point. I think it was the night before I ended up going to the hospital. It was late in the evening. Everyone was, getting pretty close to going to bed, and I still wasn't feeling great, but my mom was asking me, is like, "Hey, so how are you feeling now?" And I'm like, not feeling great. I had noticed that my eyes had really, my eyelids had started twitching a little bit for some reason. I started feeling a little weird, and I was like, you know what? Actually, right now I'm starting to, and I was just sitting down. I wasn't doing anything. And I was like, all of a sudden I'm feeling really dizzy right now. And I was like, oh, it's getting really bad. I was getting incredibly dizzy all of a sudden, just all at once. And it started getting worse. And I started sweating profusely and kind of started hyperventilating. And I'm like, Mom, I can't see anything. And like my vision was getting really, really blurred and cloudy because of the dizziness. And I had fainted before quite a few times in my life. And that's kind of what it felt like. But the thing is that like, probably because I was sitting down, it was like so slow. And it was one of those moments where I was like, I'm dying. Like I'm going to die right now because like my vision was getting slowly like more and more clouded. And I'm just like, and my dad had come down at that point, and I was just like on my chair, just like, I can't see. I don't know. And I think I was basically just going, oh, man. And then eventually my mom handed me my Sprite. I had like a glass of Sprite there, and I just like took a sip. And this is like a good ad for Sprite because like once I took a sip, it like 50% of it like it was going away. Like my dizziness and everything all of a sudden was better. I was like, oh, like the difference was immediately noticeable. I was like, whoa, give me some more of that. Which I had been drinking that night. I'd been drinking water and drinking Sprite, but I guess I was just like so dehydrated that I needed more like right then. And so I started drinking more of that, more of the water, and eventually I got back to normal. My fever was still really high. Well, actually, by the time that was over, it was like the fever was like momentarily gone almost, because we took a temperature and it had gotten down to like 100. So yeah, that was really weird, but eventually like the fever did come back. But went to the hospital and they got me some steroids, they got me some meds to take, and I've been improving since then. And tomorrow, actually, I'm going back to work. I haven't been to work for, since Tuesday, since that last Tuesday, so about 2 weeks. So, and now really all I got is just a bad cough, which has also even gotten better, because before it was just kind of uncontrollable and keeping me up at night. And now it's not so bad. I just got a bunch of cough drops on me and I got my water. So, but today it's okay because I'm not going to be sitting and talking for a long time, since today is an interview episode with Nic Gundy, which I'm sorry, I haven't even talked about Nic Gundy, but that's happening. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update as to, because I don't know, I don't usually get this sick. Well, I guess I'm usually good for one a year. Last year I had a terrible throat infection, which caused me to not be able to sing at audio feed like I wanted to. But that was pretty bad because that was pretty painful. This was just like, I was just all around, all miserable. I'd never had pneumonia before. My mom's had pneumonia, but I have not. So hopefully, because I'm getting to the end of my meds, so hopefully it'll be gone soon, and I'll be back to normal. So I should check your phone. All right. So, anyways, don't really have much to get to. We're just gonna kind of get straight to the show today, and so I have an incredible conversation that I had with Nic Gundy. We had this conversation like weeks ago, so sorry if it seems a little outdated. But we ended up having this conversation at his home, and so that's why it's a different setting. So it'll be a little different for you guys, but you know, we live in the same town, so we figured might as well. And he's got a whole setup and a lot more room to film that in, so just worked out that way. And Nic Gundy, I've known for a long time, honestly. He's one of my oldest buds. And so, and some of you may even recognize his name because he's been a supporter of the show, and his name has popped up on in the chats because he likes to support the show and, you know, provide feedback. And so finally you guys will get to put a face with the name and with the voice. And I mean, well, you guys should remember him from the audio feed documentary I did a couple years ago, because he was in there. But this will be a much more in-depth conversation, and I wanted to preface some things, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying these things, because I'm sure there's some things that are going to come up in the conversation that might cause some alarms to go off for some of you guys. Because, I mean, I'll just say it, Nic Gundy, as of recently, has been practicing Orthodox Christianity. First he converted to Catholicism, and now he's more Orthodox, which he kind of gets into the differences between the two. But the thing is that in this conversation, I could have chosen to debate him on some of these things, but I realized that that wasn't the kind of conversation that I wanted to have for the show. I mean, I've had guests on the show where, like, I probably could have challenged them on some things because they were things that I didn't agree with. But I chose not to, because it was more about learning about who the person I was talking to. This is not a debate show. This is none of that. Not the space for that. But I did want to say, I did want to clarify that, well, part of the reason why I didn't, another part of the reason why I don't debate him on these things, or I don't really challenge him on these things, is because I know Nic, and I've known him since before this change in his faith, and I know his heart, and so I know him to be a brother. For me personally, I know him to be a brother. Now, I do want to say and clarify, though, that this is not an endorsement of Orthodoxy or Catholic doctrine. I am very much against a lot of that, and Nic knows that. He's, you know, he knows the things that I don't agree with and all that. And so this is not an endorsement of any of that. I am very much against a lot of Catholic doctrine, and but for me, Nic Gundy is just one of those guys who's He's an exception to the rule. One of the very few exceptions, I will say. But it's because I know him personally. Most other people, I would challenge them on the things that they believed. But since I know Nick, I just hope that you guys will trust me. And that you guys will be, you guys can feel free to, voice your opinions and your concerns in the comments, but just trust me to know that I know Nick, and I know the things that he stands for, and that the things that he believes, and that I know that he loves God very much so, and he's very serious about his faith. And as far as I can tell, he truly is a believer. And I'm not going to say that's the case for every Catholic or every Orthodox Christian. But here's the thing, and I even made this point with Nick, I can't even really say that about even all Protestants, honestly. But I guess that's more about a personal faith rather than a doctrinal thing. So, but what I'm saying is that I understand anyone's concerns, but I'm just asking you guys to trust me, and enjoy this conversation. I think it's a really good conversation, and we don't even really just talk about those things, because we talk about music. We talk about where both he and I came from, because we kind of came from being a part of the same churches and such. So yeah, and he's a really one of the most talented guys that I've known, and he even played bass on my new Sherwood Forest song, which, by the way, Disentangled by Sherwood Forest. Go check it out if you haven't. I really appreciate the love that you guys have shown that track. It's gotten a lot of streams on Spotify, but yeah, Nick was on there. So so that's all. I hate to have like all this drama even before the interview begins, but please, I implore you guys to stick around and to check out this conversation, because it's a fun one, and Nic Gundy is just a fun, heartfelt guy, and so I'd love for you guys to get to know him. So yeah, without further ado, here's my conversation with Nic Gundy.
I take a paycheck like it's a pack of Band-Aids. It'll cover all my cuts, but I won't hear anything. I learned to let myself go for all the things I never needed. I should feel like a better man, but I still wonder, what am I searching for? What am I longing for? What am I falling for? What am I searching for?
Okay, so cool. We're this interview is gonna look a little different, because me and Nic Gundy, we live in the same town, so it was like, might as well just meet up together. And so this is his whole shindig here, your little studio slash stream room. Yeah. So you've been streaming much lately?
No, but I really need to.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself week after week.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get to it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're like You're Twitch affiliate now, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, I have been since November or December of 2020.
Gotcha. Well, so I haven't gotten up to that yet. It probably doesn't help that I only stream every 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, but cool, man. So it's so I was thinking last time because I've interviewed you before.
Yeah.
Well, not even just for the channel, but I was thinking about when I used to do Talk the Pulse.
Yep.
And it was a little podcast that me and my friend Mitchell did where we interviewed local acts, local artists and bands, and you were our first guest that we interviewed, and we still have that recording. It's not available online anymore for some reason because I didn't really have a hand in producing the podcasts online. But so what was that like? That was quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
It must have been like, I don't know, 2017, I think.
Almost.
2016, 2017.
2018.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Because we did Talk to Pulse for about a year, I think, a year or so. So yeah, it's been a while. What do you think has changed for you since then? You know?
Oh, let's see. Since that Talk the Pulse episode, I released an album. And then I released a couple of electronic tunes and released a lo-fi EP. And then at the start of lockdown, I started recording songs, making a lot of demos.
Right, yeah.
It's still taking me a while to come up with lyrical stuff, and then as I was driving home from church, and I'll update on that, I thought of a new melody line where I was like, oh, that's actually a lot better
Yeah.
than I initially thought of. Then this week I'm gonna practice several songs, some covers and originals for a little band audition.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably gonna turn it down.
Really? Well, why do it at all then?
For the sake of learning new things.
Okay.
Because I've
Sure.
also been a little dry on learning new material,
Mm-hmm.
especially from different artists and genres alike. Like,
Sure.
I have a music stand full of orchestral pieces and excerpts that I need to get on.
Yeah. This is a lot going on, huh?
Yeah. So besides the gigging part, I've just been going around doing open mics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've been doing audio feed as well.
I did
That's
audio
what
feed.
that's what most people would know you from is the audio feed
Yeah.
video. So
Yep, I got to do my own set at Audio Feed of 2023.
mm-hmm.
And then with the same group of people, I did a set at Bloodline Fest. And that's hosted out in South Bend, Indiana.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard about that and I was interested to go, but I can't really remember. It might have been work that was keeping me away from that, but how was that?
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
There are several acts and people would recognize from Audio Feed that were there.
Sure, yeah. That's how I knew about it. A lot of audio feed alumni. You know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So you're doing a lot of open mics and such. And you said you're doing a lot of recording as well.
Yep.
Right? Or any particular project, like an album or just songs that you're working on?
It's a mixture between deciding, okay, would I like to release a concept EP or just like go ahead and do another full length?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are several songs that are alike and then some are a little bit unique.
Okay.
So it's like, would I like to blend everything together again like I did for my first album, Retrace?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But would I like to do would I like to split them up and just like release them by by sections, by EPs. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I have that freedom, but I need the discipline just to give myself a deadline to saying, okay, Nick, here's what you do. Go ahead and get to it and finish it.
Yeah.
And then share it.
Yeah. Which I get, because I've always known you to... You like trying different things, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've known you've done like the folk indie kind of sound, but like you said, you've done like the electronic kind of stuff. I've also known you to do like you've done like death metal or black metal. I don't even really know the difference.
One of them is theatrical.
Oh,
and cursed. I personally think black metal is cursed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really mess around with it that much?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. In what way?
Unless it's unblack metal. For people that don't know, it's just like Christian themed black metal.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of instrumentation, but like lyrically is more gospel driven.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
A Hill to Die Upon is my favorite example of it. I have a college friend, Nolan, who's playing it for about over a decade now.
Okay.
Yeah. They played at Audio Feed a couple of times as well.
Okay. What was their names?
A Hill to Die Upon.
Okay. I guess there's so many people that play Audio Feed. It's impossible to know everyone. But but you called that unblack metal. It can't. You don't think that it can be just like Christian black metal, or do you think there's like too much already kind of inherently bad about black metal? Is that what you're saying, or?
There's like I mostly refer to like the second generation of black metal, like in the 80s with the Norwegian scene, especially from Mayhem and Immortal, but I think they're from another country, or Emperor, because like they did a lot of scandalous things, over there, and sometimes for their set they do some overly crazy things.
Probably like burning Bibles or stuff like that.
Throwing pig heads in the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm like, I know that is pretty cool. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something fun about that, about the theatrics, you know.
Yeah, like the borderline between edgy and like fully gatekeeping, because people who are solely dedicated to the black metal scene are very good of like keeping things underground, a little bit inaccessible and very uncomfortable for the ears.
Sure.
So they fulfill that duty. Yeah, but it's just like also related to people I've encountered in the past a little bit, and they're like, oh, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, but I do hope they're all doing better though.
Sure. Yeah. I get that.
But there's
go ahead.
But like there is one black metal band that caught my attention about 2 or 3 years ago called Batushka. They were
Batushka. That's fun to say.
They're a black metal band, and like they gathered some influence from Orthodox hymnals.
Okay. So
they created an atmospheric. They create some kind of atmospheric kind of vibes with some chanting, kind of vocal arrangements.
Yeah.
With some black metal screaming.
Sort of like Gregorian chants, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like somebody said, yeah, church hymnals are way more metal than black metal.
Yeah.
So what that band did, one of them learned Church Slavonic and implemented that into vocals. And even the drama of that band is pretty interesting. There's 2 Batushka bands.
Oh, okay.
Which is a little crazy, and it's still a bit absurd if like anybody's interested, that's a little bit of lore to look into. If you're curious about that.
Yeah. So it was just like another band that happened to have the same name, sort of. And
It
they
was
get
like
confused sometimes.
it was like one person left, either they quit or got fired, and just like hijacked a couple of band members and the name.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit cruel.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be as if wasn't it the drummer of Metallica that started Megadeth or whatever?
Oh, it was Dave Mustaine. He played guitar for them for
He
a
played
bit.
guitar. Yeah, that would be as if he left and then just started another band called Metallica. Like that's a bit inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like what's funny about the Batushka thing is that there are multiple parody bands of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of them are like purely just a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one variant of a Batushka band that's made up of Russian Orthodox priests.
Okay.
And I got a Bandcamp copy of their album,
Okay.
which is purely instrumental, and they used a drum machine
Mm-hmm.
of some sorts.
Sure.
For that, so I was like, yeah, it's a little recording's a little rusty, a little off, but it's pretty fun.
Sure.
I listen to
Yeah.
that here and there.
Okay. Yeah, that's just a whole world that I'm just not familiar with.
Yeah.
Like the most for me is just like, like post-hardcore metal,
Yeah, but I'm still in the loop on that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. We almost like grew up together, kind of sort of like at least in our teen years, and so we kind of like grew up in the same scene, played in some of the same bands, played covers of Sleeping Giant and all that.
I was thinking of Sleeping Giant the other day,
Yeah.
or might have been yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well, now
I'll always have some. There's always some songs. Well, mainly the one we did, Army of the Chosen one, where I thought, oh man, I would like to record a full band cover right here.
Oh,
of
sure.
of that song.
I'd have to. It's been so long since I've listened to Sleeping Giant. I'd have to refresh myself on that song. But yeah, that was back in the day of what was it? We Will Exceed, or I forget. Despite all evil, yeah, that's what it was.
Or you're thinking of We're All Lucas.
No, I mean we never.
I knew
did
you were getting there, but you're
Yeah.
like, no, the other group.
Yeah, the one that my brother had together. Yeah, we've got a lot of history together. Even so far as like you played with Sherwood Forest with my band as well, and you're still, I've been recording some new music, and you've been involved in that.
Yep.
So, and that's why I brought up the whole like black metal thing, is because like you seem to always want to try different stuff, and like you fit well into like all of those. So is that because like do you just get bored and like always like trying different stuff, or what? Do you just have just a varied taste in music?
What am I searching for? What am I longing for? What am I falling for? What am I searching for?
All right, well, we're going to be right back with my conversation with Nic Gundy, but we just have a little bit of a break to get into for the show, so please stick around. We've got just a couple of messages to get through, and a spotlight segment, so please stick around. We'll be right back.
This time on the Podwood Forecast. Speaking of Chris Rock, the thing I sent you about the guy who directed Another Round, which was like a foreign film with Mads Mikkelsen. And
Yeah.
I guess Chris Rock is directing an American remake of it, and the guy who directed the original one was like, if that movie sucks, he's gonna get slapped again or something.
Which I
think is really funny. Who wants to
It's
watch
so
a
candy.
Wonka origin story and have the emotional ending and be like, look at Wonka. Oh my god, your chocolate.
Wonka.
He's making his chocolate factory. It's one of those dumb things you watch. It's like, oh, and the ending is like, I made my chocolate factory. It's like, I don't. I've seen the movie. You kill
wonder
children
how
in
this
this. Like,
ends.
I'm not excited for you to make this.
Does he die?
You're going to kill and torture children in this someday. Like, I don't. It was just weird. I'm like Godzilla -1.
Some Japanese titles is just like, what?
I love
okay,
it.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah. You Japanese.
It's like that with video games too. Like Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. That's real. And I'm like, yeah, cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Here, I'll Google it for you.
Okay, yeah.
What is wrong with Michael J. Fox? Sorry. What was...
Listen to the Podwood Forecast wherever podcasts are found.
Guys, I just got done with a video call interview for the show, and I have to say that it was like the smoothest experience ever. Didn't have any issues or anything, and the video came out almost perfect. And do you know why? It's because I used Riverside. Riverside is your online recording studio where you can record a conversation with any guest online. You can easily record podcasts and videos in studio quality from anywhere, all from your browser or their mobile app. All you have to do is get your setup ready, send your guests a link for them to join, have them join from their phone or their computer, and just chat away. A lot of podcasts that you listen to are probably using Riverside, honestly. What sets Riverside apart is that a recording of your audio and your video is happening locally on your computer. So even if your connection isn't that good, it doesn't ruin the entire recording or anything. Once you've finished recording, you will get the individual tracks of each speaker and also a combined one. You'll receive all the raw files, including that Pepsi crystal clear uncompressed audio and up to 4K video. There's also lots of really cool features where you can edit your video right in their site. So, you're a YouTuber, a podcaster, or streamer, or a content creator of any kind, and you want to have high quality conversations with your guests, please use my link in the description and sign up for Riverside. If you want to support me in the channel, please use my link since I end up getting a cut from the sales. I'm not joking. Please support me. Sign up for Riverside and start recording today.
Hey guys, thanks for watching or listening to the I'm Clifford Today show. Right now we're going to take a few minutes to listen to this week's spotlight artist, the Bessemer Process, and their track entitled We Are the Machine from their self-titled EP. You can find their music on any platform you prefer, including Bandcamp, where you can purchase their music and support the artist directly. Links provided in the description of the episode.
You're special, cause you're a rebel, like no one else has sung this song before, and I admire your fire, but stop pretending this has never been done before. Going underground is so mainstream, to be unique you can't have groupthink, cause everyone's a rebel till the system goes their way, then no one complains, you fight the power till the power's yours to take. Then it's all okay. Take it from me, you won't get away so clean. 'Cause we are tune the bandwagon plays. All in countercurrent, so mainstream. Counterculture doesn't work both ways, it seems. 'Cause everyone's a rebel till the system goes their way. Then no one complains. Fight the power till the power's yours to take. Then it's all okay. Take it from me. You won't get away so clean. 'Cause we are the machine.
If you're a Christian artist and would like to hear your music in the Spotlight segment, send an email to the address in the description of the episode. And now, back to the show.
All right. Bringing it right back, y'all, with the I'm Clifford Today show. Thanks for sticking around. Thank you to the Bessemer process for spotlighting this. Well, I guess we're giving you the spotlight, but for supporting this episode. Go check out their music for sure. Me and Clifton from the Bessemer process, having friends on Twitter for a little while, and he finally asked to promote his music on the show. So I was very happy to do that. So go check out their music. And again, if you're a Christian artist or an artist who's a Christian and you've got music, reach out to me and I will put your music on the show. It's free. All that I really ask is for you to share the episode when it's out. That's all I really ask. You're paying me an exposure, and I'm letting you do it, and it's okay. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Bessemer process. We're gonna get right back into a conversation with Nic Gundy. So sit tight.
To write passion from my head onto leaves and ink. Then lost it all.
I reached a point, however long ago, that I just couldn't pigeonhole myself into one category of music, because like you can find inspiration and like new ideas in many different places. And simultaneously, when you get involved in various music scenes, you get to know various kinds of people, and you don't know what kind of connections you'll make with them.
Right.
In the same way, once I start, like when I found the Twitch music community, that's when I started finding people from literally all over the world.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and especially one producer friend. He's working on an album with his friend out in England right now, and he's worked and he's friends with several well-known people, and then like some bands who made it to the Billboard charts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember some by name, like they aren't mega big, but just maybe like maybe a little semi-ish big.
Yeah.
Around
They've
there.
got their following.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really been too, like, I've been active on Twitch, but I haven't really connected with the whole, like, community over there. But I have been a lot more active on Twitter. Well, X, formerly known as Twitter. And there's a whole community over there of people who just love Christian music, and I've made a few connections over there, you know, with my show and everything. And so the internet is a pretty crazy place, especially, like, you know, 4 years ago when we were forced to be isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of learn to make those connections, I guess, you know. And, you know, but like audio feed too. Audio feed is a great place to make connections over there and develop relationships, and then you just kind of start to get to know people. But we still good? Yeah. Just trying to follow along with the recording. Okay.
You're doing
Cool.
pretty good. I'm just making sure that like you're like speaking at least a little semi-directly.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got to talk more directly.
Or unless you can move the mic a bit too.
Yeah. I'm trying to do that more.
Do whatever you're comfy with.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah. So we have known each other for a while, because not just in terms of like playing music together, but we used to go to church together and were involved in like the worship over there. And I think you and I have had not really similar, but like we've gone through some changes. You know, we've both kind of moved on in like kind of different ways. So I'm curious as to, and maybe it's two different questions, but I'm curious as to like what has exactly changed for you since like our days of doing worship together, like where you're at now. And I'm also just curious as to how, if any of that has like affected the music that you make. So I guess first part of that question, what do you think has really changed for you over the past few recent years?
Plot twist. I'm answering the second question first.
Okay.
Yes, it has changed. My journey has like influenced how I approach music, but I still approach it the same, but just like lyrically, I'm just stunted. Good, because like I talked about it with my dad a bit, because like the reason I've stalled so much on releasing new music is just because I worry too much on saying the right thing.
Sure.
Because I want to make sure it's equally as impactful as the music I've released in the past, while simultaneously it's still familiar and fresh, and also makes people turn their head like this. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. It was so to share a briefer story than what I've told Clifford a couple weeks ago. Me and my dad watched a little HBO show, well, two HBO shows called The Young Pope and The New Pope. And it got me curious about actual papal history, so I started listening to a podcast show called The Popecast, so it gave me
The Podwood.
Yeah.
I like that.
It gave me a bigger glimpse of the wisdom and lore of people who ran the papal office in the Roman Catholic Church, and like the wisdom they had. So like it started creeping and started planting seeds as I was still doing the, as I'm calling, non-denominational mega church-esque worship thing, which was at the tail end of it. It was pretty much a gig for me. I wasn't making much spiritual progress except from listening to things from the Popecast and so on. So when I left during the summer of 2022, I started looking into Catholic and Orthodoxy stuff simultaneously. And I was like,
You're good. Yeah, I just ate lunch too. It's probably not the best timing for an interview, but
I had a salad.
Oh, okay. I had Culver's.
I needed some greens. Oh. To digress real quick, I had a mini fat burger up in Chicago last night.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Chicago, I'm
Oh,
sure.
Oh yeah.
So now you're just kind of making up with it by eating salads.
I need so much greens. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I was looking into Catholic and Orthodoxy stuff simultaneously because there was an Orthodox parish that used to be behind my house for several years since I moved here, and they found a better building a little out of ways out of our town.
Mm.
And then of course there are like 5 or 6 Catholic parishes around town. So I went to the Holy Trinity one, which is the biggest and oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started seeing a bit more of like, okay, so what are you guys about? I want to drop my biases for both people, both groups,
Mm-hmm.
and then see how that goes. And I was learning a lot of stuff from a program they do called RCIA, Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults, and got to be catechized a little bit, and I briefly converted into it for 5 months last year.
Mm-hmm.
And while that, I was still learning Orthodoxy stuff, still simultaneously. Wow. Just like listening to some podcast episodes and watching a couple of YouTube channels, like from Matt Whitman and Austin of Gospel Simplicity.
Mm.
And both of them talk to various Christian groups, from the Catholic to the Orthodox to the Jesuits, and even the guy that I think is the leader of the First Assembly of God group.
Oh, of Assemblies of God?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was the founder. Not the
Or at
founder,
least
the leader.
the superintendent.
Yeah.
I forget. It was like general superintendent.
Yeah.
I don't remember who is the current superintendent. I remember when it was Chuck Wood, but I can't remember who it is now.
Yeah, I don't think it was Chuck Wood he interviewed.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But okay, so it's
Yeah.
like a whole podcast with all of them on there.
Yeah, it was like separate YouTube videos,
Oh, okay.
like part 1, part 2, part 3, 4.
Gotcha.
Like
Interesting.
touring the buildings, and then sitting down with people, just be like, so what is the faith that you're in about?
Mm-hmm.
And it was also like last February. It was 8 years at the time since I was last at a Orthodox Vespers, which is a evening service prior to the Sunday liturgy. And just like my head started getting foggy and getting awestruck and stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this? What is all this?"
Yeah.
Ah! And like simultaneously, I was just trying to find. Okay, in my head, I was like, "Okay, if I go into the Catholic stuff and I want to leave, I need to find permission to say, okay, it's okay to leave the Catholic Church." And turns out going home to the Orthodox Church, or as Wikipedia like spells out, like the full name is the Orthodox Catholic Church.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the Roman Church made their own Catholic Church after the schism of 1054. But it wasn't, but like even back then, it wasn't obvious to everyone. It was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
It was all a big mess.
Yeah.
History is messy, but like I love the messiness and the chaos about it.
Oh, sure.
So
yeah.
even if I can't digest it entirely,
Mm-hmm.
I just like didn't have gathered enough information prior to that Easter of last year to be like, oh, I can stop going to RCA. I can jump ship early,
Mm-hmm.
but like I complete it for the sake of completing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, church history is always going to be a little messy, you know.
yeah, but at least as it said that like the church will lead you into all truth, into the one body, the one holy Catholic Apostolic Church, which I found in Orthodoxy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a result of that, even like during the Catholic stuff, I completely left the mainstream Christian music scene entirely.
Yeah.
I don't even bother listening to all that anymore, with the exception of course, listening to Clifford's show. just to see what the antics have been going on.
Yeah, see what's going. Yeah, I'm the one who's, like, yeah, I wouldn't be listening to all that either if I didn't make it a thing about it on the YouTube channel. But
Did you hear that, folks?
I mean, I will say it pushes me, and I'm glad that I do, because like when I do, like I just put out the top 10 best Christian hit songs of 2023,
Okay,
and that gives me the opportunity to be like, okay, so there is some good stuff out there, because like that was what I grew up on. I grew up on like the mainstream Christian music of the 90s and the early 2000s. So that's why I care about it so much, because not that I want it to like sound like that anymore, but it's like I want to go back to those days of having fun and creative music that glorifies God, while also being authentic and genuine. So I totally get you on that with the mainstream Christian music, because a lot of it is pretty bad, pretty mediocre.
or as I would put it, theologically dry.
Oh yeah,
Or empty.
yeah. It's all, a lot of it. Well, not all of it, but like a lot of it is just very shallow. It's like it's easy listening. It's not really meant to. Most of it is not meant to challenge you or anything. It's so that's why a lot of it is just bad, because the Christian music industry doesn't really seem interested in challenging people in any way, shape, or form. So that's why I try to pick out the ones that are, like, yeah, you're going in the right direction right there. So, but yeah, but you probably say that you still listen to like the indie Christian music scene and such, like some of the stuff that's more underground that doesn't get the spotlight. Or do you not really even listen to much of that anymore?
If it's Christian indie, it's pretty much anybody at audio feed.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, same here.
And then like I think it was like a couple of weekends ago, I was jamming along to the 2007 Christian radio hits with features like Barlow Girl, Toby Mac, Sanctus Real, Group One Crew, a little bit of Leland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were that was
fire.
a year where I'd say the music scene was still good, maybe sometimes a little cheesy, but like, yeah, like even like Sanctus Real, I loved like old school Sanctus Real all up until their well, I guess like Pieces of a Real Heart was probably like their last like decent album.
Yeah.
And then now you listen to them now and they're like unrecognizable. Because, well, for one, they got rid of the original singer left, but also like they just sound like every other Christian band on the radio.
Oh, dang it!
It's like, man, like I listened to like I'm Not All Right, and it's like, man, that song just goes so hard,
And it still goes hard.
Yeah, it's still so good. That whole album too, The Face of Love.
Yeah, and even my
really
college hosted Sanctus Real my freshman year.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, because you went to Greenville. Right?
Greenville College, yep.
Yeah. That's where a lot of we'll say, I know Jars of Clay went there.
And even Jars of Clay played there.
Yeah, I remember you sending me video.
For my graduation weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you sending me video on that. Is there anyone else anyone of note that came from Greenville that I would maybe know?
There's one band I keep up with called Ashland.
Okay.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if I could.
they've played here in Bloomington a couple of times.
Okay.
And they've been signed on to Rise Records since 2017.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Still touring and all that stuff.
Sure. I don't know if you remember Nexus Church.
Yeah.
There in town.
Oh yeah.
Lewis Lux.
Yep. Lewis Lux and Stacy.
Yeah.
They're Greenville alumni too.
Yeah, because he was roommates with one of the members of Jars of Clay.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who it was. It might have been the guitarist. But yeah, I remember him telling me about that.
I dropped by to our local music store, and there was one guy talking to one of the workers and said he's the brother of a former band member of Third Day.
Okay.
Or it was that like he toured in Third Day for a bit.
Oh, okay. Like as a touring.
No. Yeah, it was his brother. Yeah, it was his brother that played in Third Day for a bit.
Okay, gotcha.
And like we were both at that Jars of Clay and Third Day
nice.
Christmas show back in 2007, and that was my first big concert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw first time I saw Jars of Clay was at the Rock and Worship Road Tour, back in, I don't know, maybe 2013, 2012. And they were touring with Mercy Me and a bunch of other groups, and they put on a good show. You know, I remember there was one song where Dan Hasseltine. I always pronounce it Hasseltine, but I think it might be Hasseltine.
Who is that?
I don't know. He's the lead singer of Jars of Clay.
You see, I don't know any of this stuff, so that's why we got him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the expert. But yeah, he like went out to the crowd and like walked around the whole arena.
Oh, okay.
And then when they played Dead Man, and at the end he's like literally on the floor, you know, as he's singing. It was a fun time, and I got to meet him after the show. There has to be a picture somewhere. It was like a long time ago, so it was like taken on a digital camera. But yeah. Anyways, with all that to say, I kind of went on a rabbit trail there. But
yeah, we both knew this was going to happen anyway, so we're just we're going with it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think you and I both had a kind of moment around the same time where,
I mean, I've had several, but still.
Oh, sure, yeah, still for me, where I think we both kind of had this sort of awakening with like the whole, I guess you could call like seeker friendly church scene sorta.
Yeah.
And we're both just like, what are we doing here? You know?
I've always had that since I was a kid.
Okay.
Because like I was looking for the discipline and I don't know if I want to say reverence because I didn't know that word yet.
Mm-hmm.
But just like being firm, just like practicing
Yeah.
it, you know, living the faith.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because like it was still, because like for the churches we've gone to, they're still doing the bare minimum, and that's just, and when I mean churches, I just mean anything under the Protestant category.
Yeah.
Or the Protestant umbrella or branches, because like they literally split off with all of each other.
Yeah. All the
without
different
being
denominations.
of the same, without being all of the same mind going in one direction.
Mm.
Because it's all from sola scriptura.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, now to clarify, not all entirely, because like there are some groups that are still, let me see, high church, high end, or it's like the Lutherans and Anglicans / Episcopalians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're still high end and still semi-practice all the all the holy traditions.
Sure.
To an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of different stuff going on, and I think you and I, we've kind of gone in different directions, but I think you and I still are able to find a lot of unity in what we believe. I personally haven't completely left like the charismatic Pentecostal church, but like, I grew up Assemblies of God, and I don't think that I would completely align myself with their doctrine completely anymore, but I still consider myself charismatic, even though the church that I go to currently isn't technically charismatic. They're non-denominational, but with Baptist roots.
Yeah.
So they don't really practice a lot of the Holy Spirit gifts stuff. But I personally found a lot of relief when I discovered the church that I go to, because the preaching was like actually like from the Word. There's like preaching the Bible, and I had like too many years of being involved in churches. Yeah. Both of us being involved in churches where the sermons really mostly just felt like motivational speeches with maybe one or two scripture verses referenced,
or maybe even 6, and just like go off and just like barely bringing it up again.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Like
exactly.
it feels like that. It doesn't always happen, but it did happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
when you have like so many years of mostly that, it's like, I could feel myself that not really growing spiritually that much. And so, I kind of like you found myself, mostly listening to like other podcasts and finding more, because they talk about how like with preaching there's meat and there's milk, and you can't give like mostly milk. You gotta have a lot of meat in there, and I just wasn't getting any meat in a lot of the churches that I was involved in, and I had to find that like elsewhere with podcasts or YouTube channels.
Yeah, and the problem with me is like most of my meals are just meat and cheese.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said, "Ain't that right, Dad?"
Yeah, his dad's here. Yeah. So yeah, you and I, we kind of had that similar experience and just found ourselves like wanting more from that. And I think that's really cool that's what you seem to have found.
Yep.
And I see that in you where the word you used, reverence, you have a lot of reverence for God and for what is sacred. And I think that's very, very cool, And I think, I kind of already asked this before, but like, has that become a new aspect in your songwriting lately?
Not yet, but I definitely want to be part of it. I definitely would like it to be part of it.
Yeah.
Just like a couple of people that I've encountered, especially since last year, because I met an Orthodox priest, Joel David Weir, from Indiana. He's also bluegrass-esque singer.
Okay.
Well, more Americana singer-songwriter.
Sure.
He did a talk and played an audio feed this past year as well.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And he played again at Bloodline Fest. So I got to chit chat with him.
Nice.
A lot more.
Okay. Cool. So.
So those little encounters have like helped amplify my curiosity and just getting more involved and diving into all the traditional things I didn't know about, and then like being at my face saying, "Nick, it's actually good. These are actually very good. It's okay to embrace these things." Because what I've learned from several people as well is to not discount all of your experiences related in Christianity in the past, because they've all planted seeds into where you're at where you've come to right now at this moment, and what you'll continue growing even after this point. Like especially for me, after my baptism at the end of April, it's just a start of learning for me.
Yeah.
Learning to live it, learning to do constant repentance, because like it's everlasting. And hey, you can talk. I'm losing my train of thought again. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. No, that's cool. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of growth happening. I can see that. It's sometimes a little difficult for me to talk about because it's something that I'm not too familiar with. When it comes to like some things about Catholicism I can speak on, but like Orthodoxy in particular is a little different for me and a little unfamiliar. So, but
it's pretty underground, but you like it.
I'd like, yeah, because
even if because like it's always a culture shock.
Sure.
For people, for me, it was like I've done it. I've told my dad and my mom this several times. Like I've done it my way. I've done the Christianity thing my way. It just doesn't work. It's not a point of like that. This is my thing. No, this is a thing, a living organism, so that it becomes part of me. It does become me.
Yeah.
where Christ is entirely.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
get a fuller and like better perspective and a more honest perspective of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody talks of like developing a relationship with Jesus, which is all true. But like the Orthodox, because like the word itself is two words, Greek words, meaning right belief or true glory or like true worship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like here, this is dead set of where we're at, but it doesn't mean they're like entirely stubborn and don't change anything. But like it does, things do change
Yeah.
steadily throughout time, because like at Pentecost, the church was very small with the apostles and the several disciples and Mary the Theotokos as well,
Mm-hmm.
who were present, where the Holy Spirit took the place of Jesus in their presence
Mm-hmm.
and went off. And then from that, it's just like a little seed, a little mustard seed. And then over time it expands, it becomes a tree. And then some things happen and some branches broke off, and then a particular branch, the Roman Church, here's a little history lesson. There are 5 patriarchal churches, home bases, from top to bottom: Rome as first among equals, Constantinople as the new Rome, then Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Antioch. And like the home base for the Church of Antioch moved over to Serbia. However long ago, I don't know. That's okay.
Yeah.
And like people say, and that's like more, this point of view is like a little bit more prominent in the West, that like the church split into East and West.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely true, because like people think like the split happened like this, when
Yeah.
more of like it split like this.
Oh, okay.
One group had pretty much excommunicated itself, because like each patriarchal leader was responsible for their own jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
And like some popes over time leading up to schism were like, well, I'm not just bishop over my place, I'm also bishop over your. And they're like, that's not how it works.
Oh man,
And
gotta
it's
love
like,
church drama.
Yeah, but even that drama especially affected how Christianity spread throughout the West, throughout Europe, over time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even leading to the Reformation thing. And there was especially like a small group of Lutherans that did talk to a Orthodox person. I can't remember if it was a priest or a metropolitan. He was some or bishop, probably around there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they tried. It's like, I tried,
Yeah.
but it's starting. But thanks be to God that like it's starting to become a lot more visible to people who have been fine, because like this thing is just, it's not just me. There have been many people already who have been discovering the Orthodox Church, coming home, learning to come home to it.
Yeah.
And like everybody's got their own obstacles, just like there are things they've been like, just like some things and approaches they've cleaned on to
Mm-hmm.
as like their own original thought, just like to let go.
Mm-hmm.
To fully embrace the original thought of the church.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's something that I've noticed, that there have been a lot of celebrities and well-known figures that are like recently converting to Catholicism, or mostly Catholicism.
Yeah. Shia
LaBeouf
is one
did.
example.
Yeah.
Who else?
I think Jim Carrey might have. I don't think he's been very open about it, but I know he was like.
I knew he grew up in it.
Yeah. But I guess more relevant in the things that I'm interested in, but like Jordan Peterson's daughter converted to Catholicism.
There's
other people.
Yeah. There's one comedian who got featured on the show Pints with Aquinas, Shane Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Very heavily tattooed dude, comedian.
Yeah.
recent conversion into it. I think he's gonna be baptized or chrismated into it this year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be sort of a big draw, and it's really interesting to see because, like, I can understand the appeal. I think for me, it's mostly kind of doctrinal issues that I have, but like I definitely see the appeal. I've always kind of admired, Catholic or Orthodox. I guess they're both very similar in the way that they hold their services in a way.
Structurally, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll briefly say on the surface level, yeah, they do look alike. But then you start dive deep into a little rabbit hole of their doctrine of how the Roman Catholic Church changed after the schism, like by a lot.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. It's like henceforth the Reformation thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. And like I still got nothing bad to say about people in the Catholic Church because like they've helped me out a lot, and they're still very, very dear. They help, especially through them a bit that they helped me lead home to the Orthodox Church.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like, yeah, every little thing, every little experience counts.
Sure. Yeah. I'm curious because this is kind of the elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
The whole the whole Mary thing.
Yes.
Is that similar with the Orthodox Church? How
Yes.
they look up to Mary? Okay.
Yeah,
See, that's one of the issues that I have with it, but okay.
Yeah, so now to an extent, I'm going to give it with a grain of salt that I'm a catechumen. I'm still a newbie. I'm going to be a newbie for a couple of years, even after being baptized. So that was like part of the old biases I had to drop and like get a better understanding of. So for the Roman Catholic Church, they just like add several dogmas about Mary, whereas the Orthodox just like laid the basic grounds about her. So she wasn't immaculately conceived, because that would mean that like her mother had to be immaculately conceived, and then her mother, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So like what they did, her parents, Saints Joachim and Anna, and like there's they're dedicated Mary to the temple, raised up to love God, and like the Immaculate Conception thing is just like a way of Catholics saying that she was preserved so that she can bear Jesus. So, but that lacked the struggle, and Mary struggled very well. So, like when the Archangel Gabriel appeared to her in the Gospels, she struggled. She struggled very well at the time, so she can say yes to the Lord. So, like the reason with the church holds Mary to a higher standard as a person is because she was the closest person ever to Jesus. Because
I guess physically,
and she is also a prototype of all Christians. So to be able to say yes, take up our crosses. So even she was very close with the apostles and the disciples as well. Because like if you look at some statue presentations and icons.
Yeah.
And like even like stand-up crosses, you can see she was right beside Jesus as well as the apostle John as he was crucified. Plus she was the only person she saw that seen him draw his first and last breath.
Yeah.
As well.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's also an encouragement that being a Christian is not just a personal relationship, it's also a communal thing. It's a team effort. The kingdom of heaven is not just for you, it's also for you and me and everybody else. So it requires like we get to know somebody, or like we get to start learning a new skill, we can't figure it out on our own. we need help. We need help. We need wisdom for people who have experience, who have done this for a long time. Like for the double bass right there.
Yeah.
I needed several. I needed
yeah,
I needed several people to help me understand how to approach the bass
Mm-hmm.
and to play it well. Yeah, I did last time. Just as the Christian faith is, the pilgrimage is. We all need help.
Mm-hmm.
So in the traditional mindset of the Catholics and Orthodox, and I don't know about the Anglicans, but I know the Oriental / Coptic Orthodox do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when we ask for intercessory prayers of people, of saints who struggled very well, and like how they got there, like through martyrdom or old age, or evangelizing, or leading quiet holy lives, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like heaven is filled with people who struggled,
Sure. Yeah.
who fought the good fight,
Yeah.
and as they say, they are a lot more alive on heaven than right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like so it's kind of like a little nudge. It's like, hey Jesus, they need a little bit of help. they need help.
Yeah.
So as you bring, so it is legit in the same manner as you asking you to pray for me, or you ask me to pray for you.
Mm-hmm.
We all need a little nudge. We all need help. And it all greatly depends on going on the same narrow path.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a bit scarce because of all the things in this how Christianity is in the West.
Yeah.
But it is person by person, even me. It is all coming back. It is all coming back together, especially in the States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I was just
Get ready for all the comments.
No, yeah. I'll make sure that everyone's nice and
Behave.
I'll probably. Yeah.
You heard it right here.
I'll
you guys got to behave. Okay. I don't want you on your high horse. This is a good learning experience. I promise you.
Yeah.
Pray
yeah.
about it.
I'm
okay.
sure
It's okay. It's all okay.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like what I say, that's okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
I used to not like what I heard too. So
Sure. Yeah. And I've had people. I just recently had a guest on the show that I respect very much, but I know that I don't agree with everything on everything. So, but yeah, and there's a lot, not really with you, but just mostly, the problems. I have my own personal problems with with a lot of that, with the the doctrine and such. But I know you. And I can honestly say that I consider you a brother in Christ. I will say,
me too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it's mutual because I think that there are a lot of Catholics, at least, that I don't think are really saved. But then I can also say that for my side as well, because I believe in the idea that there are false converts,
Oh yeah.
So on either side. So
And there's one little wisdom I've heard as well: convert for the wrong reasons, stay for Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the center of it all.
Yeah.
He's the center of it all. So yeah.
Even when people do have false conversions, if they at least let their hearts be soft and let it be open, then transformation is possible to happen. Transfiguration is possible to happen.
Yeah. One thing I don't like is for people to be like, "Oh, you're a false convert," because you can't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. The Bible says you can tell by the fruits of their life, the fruits of the Spirit. But ultimately, it is between them and God, and also all that we can really do is to encourage them and correct them. Be like, hey, I know that you say you're a Christian, but you're living this way and that. You need to work on that stuff. I think it's really damaging to be like, I think you're a false convert, you know? So I don't agree with that, but I do agree. I do believe that's a thing,
Yeah, and even in the book of Acts or James, I gotta remind myself. Yeah, it was probably Acts. Because the Antiochians, or a reminder, patriarchal church of Antioch, there you because like they were called little. They were first called Little Christs,
Right. Yeah.
and then like that turned into to the word Christians.
You're good. Still dealing with that salad.
Yeah, man.
It's all good.
So it's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
To live in the world as little Christs, learning to become like Christ. So like that's the word theosis that like over time through thorough repentance and praying and partaking in the holy mysteries and learning the traditions and the Christology of that the church provides. So to learn all that is to embrace it and then learn to live it and also to live it out.
Yeah.
So that's like what those saints were. As I mentioned, they were little Christs that roamed the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's true.
That's good. I mean, that's the way to live as a Christian. You know.
And even if it doesn't, and even still, it will take a while for people to let go of their old passions. I mean, I can speak for myself. There's still struggles that I'm still dealing with, but it's like try not to pay too much attention to that. Keep focusing, just keep showing up.
Yeah.
You'll be transformed. And then, like a saint said, don't be so surprised if you fall back short into sin. It's just keep getting up.
Yeah.
That's all I do. We're always tripping. We're always we're always susceptible to steering in our own ways.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as we keep coming back, we keep growing. Well, we start learning how to embrace and develop habits and fruits, like especially the fruits of the spirit that we lack, that we need help on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Always need help.
Yep.
That's the process of sanctification. You know, it's like we're made holy by God, like when we accept Him as our Savior, but then we're still like being made holy as we continue on. It's a process, but that's the mystery of Christianity. It's like it's a done deal, but it's also a process at the same time. You know, so but. Yeah, cool. So glad we could get some, understanding about all that. Again, people be nice. I'm sure that they are going to be.
Yeah. I hope so.
But I feel like now would be a good time to segue into everyone's favorite little segment, and you've already got a list. So you're going to name your five favorite Christian albums.
Oh shoot! I missed the criteria. That's okay. That's okay. I can work around it though.
Oh, okay. Did you pick? Just 5 albums in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
I misheard that, but it's okay. I still know plenty.
Okay, my bad. I thought you watched my show, man.
I don't watch the show. I listen to the show.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, sure. It's either same thing.
If I'm not busy on a Saturday lunchtime, I'll tune in and watch on Twitch or YouTube.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
That's all good.
That's usually the time when you guys hear my name being called out a few times. You're like,
yeah. You're a contributor. You leave chats. You leave comments. So I'm sure a lot of people at least recognized your name. So, but yeah. So in terms of like what counts as a Christian album, it's it can be anything from
I can do that. Yeah.
Mainstream Christian music, but it can be indie, it can be like hardcore metal, it can even be like I had a guest on recently who counted Thrice. It's more like I would allow it if it's like the lead singer is like a professing Christian, so
sure.
And if it's like if they have like overt Christianity in their music, like I'll allow it. I leave it pretty vague for a reason, just to get like interesting answers. So if you're ready, you can just go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I can say currently, like my number one favorite right now is Holy Name, self-titled debut album, Holy Name. So I'm gonna ask the question again. Did you listen to the album?
I did listen to it.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yes.
So before we continue on my list, I want to hear his thoughts because I've been so excited to
I
hear.
thought
If you
it was
got
pretty
some,
good.
yeah.
I thought it was decent. I kind of forgot, like, once I started listening to it, I forgot that it was the guy from Sleeping Giant.
I know, right?
Because, like, I was listening to it and I was like, this sounds a lot like Sleeping Giant, sort of,
Yeah.
but kind of like an upgraded Sleeping Giant.
A much better Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that, like, Sleeping Giant was never really, like, my favorite band or anything. I
Me
liked
neither.
their stuff, but they weren't, like, my absolute favorite. And one of the things was that they were a bit too simple,
Yeah.
you know, like very simple guitar riffs and breakdowns and such. Their strong suit was like in their lyricism.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's what I appreciate about him and about his singing. And I listened to this like maybe once or twice through, and I'm kind of trying to remember exactly my thoughts on it. But for me, it felt like more of it was an updated Sleeping Giant, but it was also more like yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just in
That's okay.
in my opinion, though. But no, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but
Nah, that's okay. Because I've been bothering Clifford about this album
yeah,
for several months because I was like,
yeah.
I just want to hear his opinion. I don't care if it crushes me.
I don't care what it takes. He's gonna
dare
listen
you.
to this. You're like crawling to me like half dead, like with headphones. Like, please on. But no, yeah, it finally happened. So now Holy Name is on my radar now. So I'll be listening to them. And
Great. Yeah.
whenever they release new stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you would count that in your 5?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like it also played a good part of my journey faith, and Tommy had something especially had something similar, especially as well.
Did he also convert to Orthodoxy?
Yeah,
Did he actually?
yeah, it's because like that's the base because like that's the basis of that album because he said it's a love letter to Holy Orthodoxy.
I didn't even realize. Man, okay.
He should have known it when he heard the Creed song.
I mean,
There is
well,
a Creed song, guys.
I mean, yeah, but like you don't have to be Orthodoxy or Catholic to appreciate the creeds.
That is also true.
yeah. So
Because like everybody, because like oh no, everybody even if they're not, they love it.
oh yeah, of course. I mean,
they also featured my favorite metal singer Ryan Clark of Demon Hunter.
right. Yeah.
so
I
that
do
was like
remember
that was a personal full circle for me because Army of the Chosen One also featured Ryan Clark for that song.
Yeah. I was aware that they collaborated on a lot. They're good buddies.
Yeah.
So okay,
Awesome.
cool. I didn't even realize that. So
Oh yeah.
guess you're just following in their footsteps then.
Yeah, kind of.
yeah. I know it's authentic for you.
Yeah.
But okay, cool.
Right.
Holy Name by Holy Name.
Yep. And then Baptized in Filth by Impending Doom.
Okay. See, that's the one album from them that if I'm remembering it right, is that the one with Murderer on it?
Yep. First track.
That's the one that I'm most familiar with. I did have a little phase with Impending Doom a while ago. I saw them live too, and they're
Yeah, that was
Cool.
fun.
yeah.
I met 2 of the band members in audio feed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was awesome. Brooke Reeves, the lead vocalist,
Uh-huh.
especially. And then one of their 2 guitarists.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little geeky moment for me, I got to hold ESP Ltd. Stephen Carpenter from Deftones model signature guitar.
Oh, okay. Nice.
It's like a 7-string. It was a long one. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Finally.
Nice. That's cool. Oh, I guess they got some new music out. I didn't even realize.
Oh, yeah, I'm
I
behind
gotta
on
put them
that.
back on my radar.
Yeah. That's good. Number 3 is Spirit by E-Ray.
I am not familiar with that one.
They're a Christcore hardcore group.
Mm-hmm.
They did a little reunion show a few weeks ago
Okay.
out in Washington, D.C. My friend Nathan Moe, who also plays in Idle Thread, plays guitars for them as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And shout out to Kashif, their front man. Yay.
Kashif.
Yeah, love you, miss you.
Nice. Cool.
That's a fun one.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. And, oh yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find the All Sons and Daughters. That's the next one.
Oh,
There we go.
okay.
Oh yeah, season 1 by All Sons and Daughters.
That's a classic right there.
Very classic.
That one is. I see. I gotta pull it up. I call it a classic, and I can't even remember all the songs.
All the
on
poor
there.
and powerless.
Yeah, that one. I got a lot of memories attached with that one.
Yeah, especially because like my college sang a good handful of their songs for their chapel services and Vesper services.
Yeah. Do you need a water? Okay, you got.
I
water.
got my water.
Okay.
You need a water too, man.
Yeah, I got one somewhere. I put it somewhere. Oh yeah, it's right here. But yeah, that's a good one. I always loved Your Glory on there. But I also I actually liked their live version of that song better.
Yeah.
Because they put in the Nothing But the Blood of Jesus tag on there.
Yeah.
And I always made sure that whenever like we did that when I was a worship leader, that we did that version with Nothing But the Blood.
Yeah.
But still, like the original song is still great. And All Sons and Daughters, I don't even know if they do anything anymore, but they were kind of a game changer at the time. And a lot of their songs, like All the Poor and Powerless and Great Are You, Lord, and
oh yeah. Oh, that one.
there was another song that Michael W. Smith covered and made it more popular.
Yeah.
They were kind of that band that would write a song and they'd release it, and then someone else would cover it and make it more popular.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like underappreciated because people don't really even realize who they are, because like Casting Crowns would cover Great Are You, Lord, and that would be the version that everyone would know.
Yeah.
So they're kind of underappreciated in that way. You left your light on your phone, by the way. The flashlight.
Okay, we're doing a concert now. Yay,
Okay.
everybody.
Free bird. Play a Coldplay song or something.
No.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Would you like Yellow or Fix You? That's the only one.
Yeah.
These are the only ones we do.
yeah.
Okay, and the scientist, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, and then I had to look it up the name. Number 4 is Blurred Visions by my friends Idle Threat.
Okay. Yeah. I still need to I need to dive deep into their music.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I need to, because I know they've become pretty popular in like Christian
I'm so proud of my homeboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a little bit of context, I met Nathan Moe back at Audio Feed of 2018. And this was before he joined as a live guitarist for Idle Threat.
Mm-hmm.
So his friends Idle Threat hosted a little festival out in Smyrna, which is outside of Nashville, called Threat Fest. So like they hosted local bands and acts and some touring as well, especially Ghost Key.
Oh,
that
okay.
year, our homies of Ghost Key.
Yeah. They're also a band that we interviewed for Talk the Pulse. That was like one of our most popular ones we did. But
Oh man, I don't remember if I listened to that.
yeah, that was the only one where we left our location. We like went to one of their shows in order to interview Steven Wegman from Ghost Key.
Okay, yeah, Steven. Yeah.
So
Yeah, do you know guess what Steven's doing right now?
He's just doing like metal works, right? He's doing the knives and such.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I see him
What
on
was that?
Instagram.
Oh, what's that? Oh, I forgot. What was the band he plays in as well? Glasslands. I love Glasslands.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been guitar tech. Yeah, for those who know, Steven has also been a guitar tech for Beartooth.
Oh,
for
I didn't even
for a few
realize
years
that.
now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's been guitar teching.
Man, small
That's,
world.
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly just see him on. I don't have any connection. But
Yeah,
I know that he does like the knife stuff.
Yeah, the last time
Cool.
Ghost Key played was back in December for I'm not gonna say it's Toys for Tots, but it was a related toy drive.
Last December?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
Was
was-
it like a reunion thing for them? Because they're not playing
Yeah.
anymore, right?
Oh, they'll play here and there.
Here and there, yeah, but it's not like a
Yeah.
regular thing. Gotcha.
But
Sorry,
some-
we're
but, yeah, but
we're talking
we're
about
going-
this band that
we're
no
gonna
one
segue
really knows
for-
about.
We're gonna
yeah.
segue off for a few more minutes. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if anybody local to Illinois, excuse me, wants to see the guys of Ghost keep playing, I know Austin and Chris, they got a new band they've been doing for the past year called Glittermouth. That's pretty good.
That's a great name.
It's awesome.
Not really a typical name for a metal band, but are they even metal? Really?
They're like post rock,
Post rock. Okay.
but
I
so,
like it.
So it is good.
Okay.
It's good.
Cool. Glittermouth. All right.
Yeah. So right after that, I got to make friends with Idle Threat from Threat Fest of 2018. Kept in touch, and they toured through Bloomington 3 times already, and I've always hosted. Well, except for the last time, I got to host them twice already
Okay.
at my house, so we got to know each other a lot more.
Yeah.
And that was before they, and that was 2019 as well. That was before they got signed on to Tooth and Nail in 2020 or 2021, and then they released their debut album, Blurred Visions, and they're currently working on their second album.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's great. Clifford knows the feeling. It's always great when you have homies that are doing pretty well on a good level, and they're becoming a lot more well known,
Yeah.
especially around the States.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hearing people get excited about it, I'm like, yes.
That was
let's
how
do
I
it.
felt about with Leah Marlene.
I know, it's crazy, and she skyrocketed
Yeah.
so much. So like,
Anyone who watches, it was American Idol, right?
Yeah, it was American Idol.
Anyone who watches American Idol, Leah Marlene, who almost made it as a finalist, she went to the same church that we did.
and we played several sets with her as well.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we were very close to having Leah Marlene as a guest vocalist on a Sherwood Forest song.
No, I
We-
had no idea.
We almost, I wanted her to be on Infinem. I wanted her to sing one of the verses.
Oh.
Didn't happen, and I'm ultimately glad that we
Yeah.
didn't. I'm happy with the way that it did, but
Yeah.
sometimes I think like, man, like I
Have a
wonder
little
that song could have
extra
skyrocketed.
Have some extra spice.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
a little more seasoning in it.
Yeah, so
that's
it's weird.
And in the same way, I almost was featured on their EP as well, just like playing banjo. And
Oh yeah.
you told me the file was corrupt or something, so it couldn't get into it.
Yeah, well, I think we just decided not to have the banjo on it.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Now I know.
Sorry. No, the file
No,
was
that's fine.
file was fine. I hope we didn't tell you that. That would have been a lie. But no, we just kind of ultimately decided to leave it out.
This means war.
But you've been on other. You've helped us with other stuff, and you were on the video too. The
Nap House videos.
Nap House videos, yeah. And you're gonna be in the new. Well, actually, the 2 other tracks that I've been working on.
Or the revamped
Yeah.
Sherwood Forest.
Well, I'm talking about
But that's what I call it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I forget where I was going with that, but
Probably your band stuff.
yeah, probably. I don't even remember.
That's okay.
But yeah, we were talking about like people that we know, and yeah, I guess I did get to meet the guys from Idle Threat at Audio Feed, and they seem really really nice. I think I tried to get an interview with them for the Audio Feed video, but it didn't end up happening.
Which year?
Probably scheduling. What?
Which year for 2022 or 23?
The first year that I did 22.
Oh, okay.
When I did the whole like documentary, because I'm pretty sure that they were there for that year, but it just didn't work out. But yeah. Anyways, so
Ready? And
your 5th one.
Number 1. Not really, but
Okay.
the drip. On the top of my head, not really. I wrote it down. The trip. What I wrote down is The Triptych by Demon Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Out of the several albums that they have, it's my top favorite.
Okay.
Because of how catchy, all their songs are.
Mm-hmm.
Even like with how Ryan Clark, how do you say it? Rhythmates his vocals.
Uh-huh.
even for early Demon Hunter. Caught my attention very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
that
is
was
pretty
the-
early.
yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was their, because like they called it triptych because like this was literally their third album,
mm-hmm.
and that was
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
that was the first album with the new drummer,
Mm-hmm.
and like they've had the same one, Tommy Watts, aka Yogi. His nickname's Yogi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta love those fun like band nicknames and such.
And I got to finally meet them in September of 2022 at the Castle Theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing posters for that they were going to play there. That's cool.
And it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I-
like, hey, yay, my favorite tunes. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah, I've always known you to be like the Demon Hunter fan.
Even my first tattoo was Demon Hunter related.
Yeah. Would you say they're your favorite band?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Overall. And then I'll say, outside of the Christian scene, these are my favorite bands.
Yeah.
But it's like, these guys are home base.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll admit that I never really got too big into Demon Hunter. It was kind of around the time where I was first getting into metal.
Oh, yeah.
My friends Griffin and Colton were introducing me to different bands, and Demon Hunter's The World is a Thorn was one of those albums.
Oh.
And I really got into that album, but I guess I was developing my taste, I didn't really get into much else, you know?
That I understand because why I favor the triptych a bit more than the rest is just like mainly how things were mixed and mastered.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because like they've always kind of like mixed things in pairs for albums. So it's like the first two albums were like mixed and like approached this way, and then the following two, and then like The World is a Thorn and True Defiance. That was the little period where just like I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't a big fan of the drum mix.
Okay.
Especially, and then after that, when they got to the Extremists, and then so on, it's like, okay, there we go. That's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more thumpy, a little bit more punchy.
Yeah. It's got that kick to it. Cool. All right. So that was your 5. The cryptic. That's cool. I'll have to check out all of these, get into a lot of them. I guess they had an album from 22,
Yep.
Exile. So
Yep.
I think I do remember one of the reviewing one of the songs when it came out. It might have been Freedom is Dead. I can't remember, but cool. All right.
Even their latest one is pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, a new single back in October. Some of Us.
Yeah.
Cool. They always got to have the horned creature on their albums.
You know what the hole in its head symbolizes?
No, I don't.
Pretty much a bullet hole. Because
Okay.
it's a demon. And they're
Oh yeah.
Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demon Hunter, it was I remember those were one of the bands where like other Christians were like, how can a band called Demon Hunter be Christian, I'm like, it's literally in
Never
the
heard
name.
that. Yeah.
They're hunting demons.
Yeah.
So like that's a good thing, right? It's like, yeah, but it has demon in the
Yeah.
name, so it's bad. It's like saying that like To Hell with the Devil is a satanic song. Like it's in the title, like Satan going to hell. I don't know. Some Christians are weird.
Didn't the Jesus Christ Superstar tour go through town, or is it going through town?
I don't know. I haven't heard
forgot.
about that. I didn't know that was going on.
I don't know, because like either it was happening or it is happening, or am I just daydreaming it?
Maybe
Well, I don't know.
either one of them.
Well, I might look it up later and see.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's not on my radar though.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's like you can kind of tell that the writers didn't really know a whole lot about Christianity, because there's like a whole song where like Jesus is singing, "Why should I die?" You know, it's
It's
like, I mean, like, yeah,
oh no.
he was like, the Bible shows that he was scared, and he didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, because like he is God, but he's
Right,
also a man.
But he didn't have doubts about like why he was doing it, as far as I know.
He's like, and like even for that, even like up at that time, he's like, I'm foreshadowing what's going to happen. Foreshadow. Come on, guys, you gotta get with the program. You're like, oh well, okay, well, I'm doing it anyway. And it's okay, and I'm like, and it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Some people, they just don't really understand. They're like, oh yeah, that was the guy who died on the cross, right? I'm like, well, I guess I'll just add in what I think he was going through.
Man, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Jesus Christ Superstar, go check it out.
Yeah.
I do have the musical on vinyl because it's like,
nice.
it's good music, but not theologically perfect. But
but my favorite from a play is called Godspell.
Godspell. I don't think I know about that one.
It's they released a movie in the 70s. It's like a retelling of the Gospel of Matthew.
Okay.
In my college, we did a live production of it my senior year.
Oh, I have to look into that.
Yeah.
There seemed to be there's quite a few movies like from the 70s where like Hollywood was like trying their hand at like the Jesus story, because you have Jesus Christ Superstar, you have The Last Temptation of Christ, and then I guess
I'm not watching that one again.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pure anathema.
Yeah, it's like I tried to watch it with like an open mind, but I was like, no,
I'm glad you didn't.
This is wrong, because like I love Martin Scorsese as a director, and he also his other movie called Silence, I think was a great job at tackling a lot of religious concepts, and so that's why I was like, well, maybe Last Temptation of Christ will be similar to that, and I was like, no, I don't get what he's trying to say with this. I don't see how this is not blasphemous in any way. So, but whatever, he tried.
Yeah.
We got Willem Dafoe playing Jesus. So, yeah. But you also had Peter Gabriel doing the soundtrack. So the soundtrack was really good.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's really
what's something interesting about Willem Dafoe?
Mm.
In almost every single character for any kind of movie, and I know you can think of a few at the top of your head, his character always dies. Not all the time, but like there's some notable ones where he just dies. And I'm like, man, you ain't letting him live. Like Liam Neeson, too.
I guess that's true. Liam Neeson, Sean Bean is always dying. And, Boromir, Game of Thrones, he's always dying in everything. He's a national treasure, I think he died in. Yeah. So, I mean, you have those actors that, like, man, you're just good at dying, I guess.
Yeah.
But I never even thought about that with Willem Dafoe. But yeah, he does die a lot in a lot of movies. Even the Northman, he dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like halfway through the movie.
I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, that's right. He wasn't it.
Yeah.
Because like what's kind of interesting about the Northman? It was like because like when me, Clifford, and Mitchell saw him in theaters. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, there's in my head.
I'm like, that you were there. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, oh, there's Willem Dafoe. And I was like, but like somehow, like when he had his scenes, it felt a little bit off color.
Yeah.
To the rest of the cast.
I mean, sure, because he's like the jester. Sort of. Yeah.
With the exception of his character as a jester, for me, it was just like him being in it, just like knowing him for several places. I was like, I know what they're doing with him, but I'm not quite sure if he belonged just for that story. And like for the rest of that, it's like the rest of the movie is like, yeah. I'm gonna try to get my dad to finish watching the rest of it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not an easy watch, but yeah.
He got bored. Because like
you didn't get certain two kinds of people.
We didn't finish the first act because we got the part where the main character was just talking to a blind lady.
Yeah,
it's like
played by Bjork. what's her name again?
I don't know.
The singer.
She was a singer.
Yeah, she's like a famous singer from the 90s. What was her name? She's like a Swedish name. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
we interrupt this broadcast for this breaking news.
Yeah.
We don't remember much.
Yeah, I guess not. Because like she was kind of popular in the 90s because she was like more alternative kind of.
Oh, okay.
She was like one of those one name singers. Bjork. It is Bjork.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, is it Bjork? That doesn't sound right. But no, yeah, Bjork.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Anyways, but yeah, Northman is not for everybody. For me, it was personally my favorite album, my favorite film from that year. So yeah. Mostly, I mean, Robert Eggers, the director, he hasn't made a movie that I don't like so far. So
the latest movie I watched last week was Saltburn.
Oh yeah.
Oh my!
I've heard about that, and I have not really had a draw to see that personally. Mitchell saw it, and he's like, "No, it was awful."
No, because I was like, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I'm like,
I've heard about certain scenes from that movie.
You're
and I'm
not.
like, I'm good.
You are
I'm
not.
good.
You are not missing much at all. I was like, even there, I was like, snap. No,
Yeah.
I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
No.
And I thought I saw Poor Things, and I thought that was bad
I
enough.
saw Poor Things too.
Yeah, that was a bit much for me.
And even that, I was like, no.
Yeah.
With a grain of salt, everybody, I've seen a lot of crazy things in my life. I've seen things, so I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
You have to draw the line sometime. Also,
Yeah.
I've been kind of, trying to be a little bit more convicted over certain things that I watch and such.
Yeah.
So I think I was a little bit more easygoing back in the day. But Poor Things was just like, I probably shouldn't have seen that.
I've also realized I'm pretty nitpicky about what I like to see or what I wouldn't not like to see, especially for those kinds of things, like for anything horror related, even underrated horror things, like my all-time favorite horror movie, Terrifier 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's it's crazy.
Yeah.
It goes crazy. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want to see what this guy, what Art the Clown does. I want to see what he does and how creative he can be.
Yeah.
And they're going to be releasing a third movie.
Of course.
Because they already planned for it anyway.
Right. Yeah.
At the end of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be going around. It'll be set around Christmas time.
Okay. Oh, so it's going to be kind of like Silent Night, Deadly Night, sort of.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm really certain that the Silent Night, Deadly Night was based off the skit I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robbins.
Oh, yeah?
Because I saw a little skit about Santa Claus just going ham, just like hunting and shooting things. I don't know what he was shooting. I don't remember. And then I was like, oh. And then when I saw the commercials for it, I was like, oh, hey, I remember that from the skit.
Well, like
I don't know if it's related.
Well, yeah, the original Silent Night, Deadly Night came out in like the 80s. So, yeah, that would have been a little impossible.
That I did not
Is there a new
know.
one coming out?
That's
because I was referring to the first two that came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
That's the one where the famous clip "Garbage Day" is from.
Yeah. Now I know.
But yeah,
Sweet.
both of those are supposed to be set in the Christmas time, sort of.
Yeah, so there was a latest Silent Night, Deadly Night movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Probably wasn't as good.
Yeah, probably not.
Or they're more like it's a so bad it's good kind of movie. But
we all know. Well, you and me know a really good, so bad it's good movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Well, that's the one that everyone knows.
But that's
The
the one
Room.
everybody loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing a showing in town.
Do you have your ticket?
I don't have my ticket.
We'll go get your ticket, or I'll get the ticket for you.
Yeah, and I think Mitchell expressed interest in that too. Yeah, because we went to the Normal Theater recently and we saw a movie, and they had a little preview for it. Well, no, it was like an announcement on their slideshow.
Yeah,
and he seemed like he was interested in going. So
yeah,
probably make it a thing. I'll finally get to meet Mark.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
This
hi,
will probably be my third time meeting Mark.
Yeah, he probably recognizes you by now.
Yeah,
Like knows
I think
who you
so.
are.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Sorry
Yeah.
to take over the hosting
No,
part,
it's all
but
good.
I
It's
think
fun going on those little tangents.
we covered a lot of ground,
Yeah, I think
especially
so.
for this time.
Yeah. Was there anything you wanted to plug before we head out?
Yes, you can find my music available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google Play, Amazon, etc. Under Nic Gundy, Nic Gundy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find my YouTube channel as well under Nic Gundy. And you can also find me on my Twitch channel, the twitch.tv/the Nic Gundy Experience.
Awesome.
This is all one word.
Cool. Also, by the time that this episode is out, Disentangle would have been released. The song that he played bass on. So you've probably by this time already heard me talk about it. But go check that out and hear his bassing.
I think I played this one.
His bassing, his bass player.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, definitely check out his music mostly.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for doing this and getting this all set up.
You're
this will
welcome.
probably be the only show of this kind where it's like this setup, but you know, support me on Patreon and we can up the production. But yeah, cool. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, that was Nic Gundy, everyone. The man, the myth, and the legend. Nicholas Gundy. Great guy. Very proud to have known him for so long, and it's like, geez, all the memories that we have. It's like I still even remember the first day that I met him, and just yeah, a lot of musical memories, and it's been a lot of fun. So very happy to have him on the show. So hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. Well, we don't have much to get to. I had one other thing, but first we're going to get into my humble opinion, because there's just a lot of music. I'm still playing catch up with all this music that's being released. So I'm gonna get into it. So one thing I've been meaning to talk about for a while, and just and I'm now finally having the chance to do that, is our good old friend Chase Tremaine has finally released Unfall 2, which is a little EP that he released that is a sort of sequel to his album Unfall back from 2020, I believe. And this is more of an acoustic album, acoustic stripped down kind of. I mean, there's some layered guitars, but it's all pretty much acoustic, and each track is basically a sort of sequel to a particular track on the original Unfall album. And I mean, you know, of course, not every track from Unfall has a sequel now. He only picked a few tracks on there, but it's really interesting how because he, on his Spotify, he has a playlist of all those tracks from both albums. And what he did is that he put after every single every track the original album that has a sequel, he put the sequel after it. And so that's a good way to kind of figure out like which sequel belongs to which. And it's really interesting to listen to them and hear how closely they related they are in terms of like theme and sound. And of course, you know, the Unfall 2 tracks, you know, they're more acoustic and such. But of course, there's some certain melodies and chord progressions that are kind of stolen from the original tracks. So, but it's not even just that, but it's also some of the themes. So like, while Matter from the original Unfall tells a story of new young love, The Ride communicates the pressures and trials of being in that relationship. Search for Myself from the original album struggles through insecurities, but Improve You Wrong is about continuing to struggle with those insecurities in a relationship. And of course, Worth the Wait and Worth the Risk are both about being at two different points in a relationship, the latter having more of a retrospective perspective, you know. And so it just kind of goes on with these tracks, and so it's really interesting to hear the themes that are repeated in the lyricism and in the music as well, because there's lots of melodies that repeat or make an appearance in the new tracks. And so I recommend you guys check out the playlist that he has on Spotify. I feel like that's the ideal way to kind of experience the EP, but it's really good. And, you know, Chase is a incredibly talented songwriter, and he manages to make simple, more acoustic songs still feel, you know, like a complete song. And so, I mean, I will admit that there's a part of me that wants to hear a full band version of them, but it's still fun to hear those tracks. And so I definitely recommend you guys check out Unfall 2 by Chase Tremaine.
As the man of the cave sings, come get everything you need right here. I've got a deal indeed. Come get everything.
Next up, we've got a new track from Benjamin Daniel, good friend Benjamin Daniel. I like how we have Chase and Benjamin right after each other, and they've both done a song together. But he's got a new track called The Rain Falls Sideways, and it's a beautiful track that goes to different places emotionally, and it takes you on a journey. I don't have the lyrics to the song, but there's a lot of sharp imagery here, and the song seems to be a painting of a picture of what surrender really looks like. And so yeah, it's a great track, really beautiful, great production on it. And I also just gotta say, just a little bit of a I'm not spoiling anything, but as a backer for his new album, I've gotten to hear previews of well, not even just previews, but I've heard some more of the album, more full tracks from the album that you guys are not able to listen to yet because you're not a backer. I don't know if you can still be a backer now or not. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm really excited for this album, especially based off of the other tracks that you guys have yet to hear. But that's coming out pretty soon. I think in June. I think it's coming out in June. But, you know, that'll be here before you know it. So until then, check out The Rain Falls Sideways and definitely, you know, also Take Hold. I talked about Take Hold not too long ago. So, you know, till then, bide your time listening to those tracks. So definitely recommend.
The salvation sets fire to the fire in my soul.
Next up, we've got a new EP, Burning, by Zach Webb. Now, some of you may recognize that name, Zach Webb. I haven't been able to talk about Zach Webb in a while. Zach Webb was in my top 10 hit Christian songs of 2022. Yeah, 22. His song Found was my number one song, actually, of that year. And Zach Webb he's a very new artist that has yet to release a full album, but apparently this EP is a part of that. He is going to eventually release a whole album this year, which I'm really excited. But for now, we've got this EP called Burning. And if you guys were a fan of the track Found, that is also featured on this EP, because before it was just a single. So I guess he re-released it on this EP. But it's a beautiful atmospheric EP with wonderfully layered vocals. Mostly flares of folk, but there are some cool moments of modern production. These songs are they sort of give this image of David alone in his fields, singing to God, because that's the vibe of what I think Zach is trying to go for. Just a humble servant who is trying to draw closer to God. Lots of moments of tranquility, but Zach isn't afraid to be dark and intense, and so I like it. I like it very much. Very atmospheric and beautiful. And so if you guys were a fan of Found when I talked about it a couple of years ago, I definitely just check out the whole EP. It's really good. So yeah, Burning by Zach Webb. And last but not least, we have a new single from the Giants, 21 Pilots, new track called Next Semester. And I gotta say that I've been it came out when I was sick, but I was still listening to it. I was watching the music video and just jamming to it. It's great. It's something I'm not really used to from 21 Pilots. It's got more of a punkish vibe to it that I really like and is really different. It's got, I mean, I guess I'm going to steal from Anthony Fantano, but he kind of related it to sort of like an old Arctic Monkeys sound, but also it's like Arctic Monkeys meets The Killers, you know. The verses are more punkish, but the chorus is got a lot more like drive and momentum to it. Plenty of themes of depression and thoughts of suicide, as well as of salvation and starting over. So it's a very positive kind of song, very like uplifting, and so it's been a jam for me. So we're 2 for 2 so far for this album, Clancy. That's what it's going to be called, I believe. Yeah, really excited because my favorite album from 21 Pilots is Trench, and so I'm getting a lot of Trench vibes from this. Even though this track, Next Semester, is very different from almost anything they've ever done. And so I like that. That means it's not going to be a complete rehash of Trench, but at least we'll have the, at least of similar quality of grade quality that Trench had, that some of their albums just unfortunately don't have. So, but yeah, Next Semester, 21 Pilots is a jam. So yeah. And that is all that we have for my humble opinion. Okay, so before we closed out the show, I guess I had one last thing that I wanted to talk about. It's not really related to music or the YouTube channel really or anything. It's I guess it's just more of a personal life update sort of. So I've got a new phone and I wanted to tell you guys about it because it's a big change in my life, and so it's affecting a lot of things like that. At least it's going to. I'm still in the early stages of it, but I'm kind of feeling it already. But so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the light phone. And by the way, this is not an ad or anything. This is just me telling you about a little bit of a life change for me. So I have gotten rid of my, well, I mean, it's still in the other room, but like I have turned off my iPhone. I have switched the SIM card over to this card, and I have reset my iPhone to its default settings, so it's practically useless right now, and I'm planning on figuring out a way to get rid of it. But so I'm leaving the world of smartphones and joining the world of light phones. So yeah, there's a little home screen right there. Yeah, it's 10:06 p.m. So basically what the light phone is, and I heard about it, like I got an ad for it online at some point. It's basically like a anti-smartphone is kind of like how I like to describe it to everyone. I'm not going to give you my passcode. Not that it matters, not that you guys are going to drive all the way over here and find my phone, but so it has all the basic functions of a phone. You can text, you can call on it. There's an alarm, there's a calculator, calendar, even a GPS app. You can even use hotspot. You can upload music on it, even though the memory space isn't great. You can there's notes on it. You can get podcasts on it. Podcasts is pretty good. And basically that's it. You can't download social media on it or any other extra apps other than the ones that they give you, and no internet browsing. So it's basically just one of those minimalist dumb phones, even though it's pretty smart for a dumb phone. That gets you off of social media and off of the internet. And a lot of people have been getting the light phone because they, like me, don't like having social media with you 24/7. Now, I knew I didn't want to totally get rid of social media because social media is kind of an important tool for me for this show and the things that I do. And so I kind of need that to promote my stuff, but there's really no need to have it with me every single moment of the day. So, and it's just I feel like a lot of people would be better off not having social media on them 24/7. And there's also the aspect, for just being completely honest, for me as a guy, there's the aspect where there is no way to view corn. I don't know. I mean, I can say porn. I'm not monetized or anything. There's no way to view porn on here. To receive porn, you can't even get images from your friends. If people send you an image, it'll just say that they sent you an image, and then you can just check your email later to see what it was. So yeah, that's kind of a big thing for me, is to not have that temptation on me 24/7. It also works because like I use Covenant Eyes with one of my pastors, and Covenant Eyes can only monitor so much on a smartphone. There's still loopholes, unfortunately. But with a light phone, there are no loopholes because there's no way to look at anything. So yeah, a lot of reasons why I got that. And I guess, I mean, I don't really know why I'm telling you guys, but I guess a big reason is because it is kind of going to change my presence on social media a bit. One big thing is that while Instagram does allow you can now like post through the desktop, like through the website, which you didn't used to before, but now you can. I still won't, I won't be able to like post stories or anything. So, I won't be present on Instagram stories anymore, which that's probably going to hurt me in the algorithm. I don't know. Not being able to be as active on there as I usually am. So I don't know. I guess continue to support me on social media and follow me on there, because I'm going to need the support. I mean, I guess this is the sacrifice that I have to make, but I mean, I'm still going to be active on there. I'm still going to be posting on there, and on Twitter and on YouTube, like with the community posts and such, and on Facebook. Just no stories, just posts. So we'll see how that hurts me in the long run, but it's worth it for me. So I mean, I don't know. Just a little update for you guys, but also maybe some of you guys might be interested in getting a light phone. They only cost $299, and you can switch. They basically take whatever carrier you have, and you can switch it to there. So I don't know. I'll probably give an update later how things are going with it. The thing is that like it really isn't the most convenient phone. It's taken a lot to get used to, but here's the thing is that like I'm okay with having those minor inconveniences. Like the texting isn't incredible on here. There's no autocorrect or anything like that. So it's mildly annoying, but for me, I can handle it. I think most people can. I think we've gotten so used to all the conveniences that iPhones give us that we kind of forgot like what it used to be like to have a phone before the iPhone. So for me, it's just kind of taken me back to before ever having an iPhone. It was like, oh yeah, it used to be like this. We used to have to deal with this, but we didn't complain about it because that was just kind of how it was. So it's not bad. I really like it, but like I said, it takes some getting used to. So, but I'll probably give you guys an update in a few months on how I'm dealing with it. But thought you guys should know, just in case my presence online is just a little different. You know, I'm not leaving you guys, just leaving the world of smartphones. So wish me luck with that. And wish me luck with this pneumonia. Okay, I think that's all that we got today. In terms of next episode, not really entirely sure what I'm talking about. Kind of caught up with a lot of stuff, so it could be something fun. I might do something fun, you know, just something a little lighthearted. or just something that needs to be talked about. We'll see. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching the I'm Clifford Today show. Working on my next video still, the Winter Jam video. It's recorded. I just have to kind of write out what I'm going to say and then like record my parts of talking about it. And so, if I don't have it out in the next couple weeks, then, I don't know. It should be done in the next couple weeks. But be sure to like and subscribe if you liked what you heard. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or on whatever podcast platform. See, I don't ever really know what podcast platforms other than Apple Podcasts that allow you to do ratings and reviews. Spotify for sure, leave a rating. I'm Clifford Today. Be sure to check out my clips and highlights channel. I'm Clifford Today. Also, Cliff's Picks, my Cliff's Picks playlist, I have updated to have the music that I talked about in my humble opinion, plus the spotlight video, spotlight artist will be in there also. Podwood Forecast. Be sure to check out our latest episode where we talked about our favorite films of 2023. It's a good time. Merch, always got new merch, always got the shirts and all that, mugs and everything. And yeah, and I'm working on the new video, and so next couple weeks we'll see what we talk about. But thanks for tuning in to this unlive episode of the I'm Clifford Today show. Appreciate you guys' support and bearing with me through all this change. You guys are the best. But yeah, always remember that I'm Clifford Today and you're not. Bye.